A falsifiable experimental test of the universality of gravitational time dilation. A direct and falsifiable experimental test of the universality of gravitational time dilation. General relativity, GR, predicts the universality of gravitational time dilation. While absolute clock rates depend on gravitational potential, the frequency ratio of any two perfectly colocate clocks must remain invariant when those clocks are transported together through different gravitational environments. This universality is a central and extensively tested consequence of relativistic gravitation. A direct and falsifiable experimental test of this principle involves comparing clocks based on fundamentally different physical mechanisms. Specifically, a nuclear clock and an optical atomic clock operated at different altitudes. The two clocks are first colocate at a lower altitude, where their frequency ratio is measured with ultra-high precision. The same clocks are then relocated together to a higher altitude, and the measurement is repeated under otherwise identical conditions. According to GR, the frequency ratios obtained at the two altitudes must agree within experimental uncertainty, as both clocks should experience identical gravitational time dilation. Alternative theoretical frameworks predict a different outcome. If gravitational time dilation does not arise purely from space-time geometry, but instead from interactions with a physical medium whose properties vary with gravitational potential, then clocks governed by different internal dynamics may respond differently to changes in altitude. In such models, the frequency ratio between nuclear and optical clocks could exhibit a systematic, altitude-dependent shift despite perfect collocation, thereby violating the universality predicted by GR. Within this context, the exploding mass defect hypothesis proposes that the mass defect associated with nuclear processes and other energetic events is converted into a space-filling physical medium whose effective density varies in gravitational fields. According to this hypothesis, this medium may couple differently to nuclear transitions than to electronic transitions, leading to clock-dependent responses to gravitational potential. Precision comparisons between nuclear and optical clocks across differing gravitational potentials therefore provide a clean and decisive experimental test. Invariance of the frequency ratio would further confirm the universality of gravitational time dilation as described by general relativity, whereas a reproducible deviation would constitute direct empirical evidence for physics beyond the standard relativistic framework. Make it shorter without losing key information. A falsifiable test of gravitational time dilation universality. General relativity, GR, predicts the universality of gravitational time dilation. Although absolute clock rates depend on gravitational potential, the frequency ratio of any two perfectly colocate clocks must remain invariant when transported together through different gravitational environments. This principle can be directly tested by comparing clocks based on fundamentally different physical mechanisms. Specifically, a nuclear clock and an optical atomic clock at different altitudes. The two clocks are first colocate at a lower altitude and their frequency ratio is measured with ultra-high precision. They are then relocated together to a higher altitude and remeasured under identical conditions. According to GR, the frequency ratios obtained at the two altitudes must agree within experimental uncertainty. Alternative frameworks predict a different outcome. If gravitational time dilation arises from interactions with a physical medium whose properties vary with gravitational potential, clocks governed by different internal dynamics may respond differently to altitude changes. In this case, the nuclear to optical frequency ratio would exhibit a systematic, altitude-dependent shift despite perfect collocation. Within this context, the exploding mass defect hypothesis proposes that mass defects from nuclear processes generate a space-filling physical medium whose density varies in gravitational fields and may couple differently to nuclear and electronic transitions. Thus, precision comparisons of nuclear and optical clocks across gravitational potentials provide a decisive test. Invariance of the frequency ratio supports GR, while a reproducible deviation would signal physics beyond it. Create an infographic based on the above, aspect ratio 1:1. Which image do you like more?
I am Joseph George. I played my TV. In fact, based on new physics project, space-filling substance is real and can be experimentally verified to various ways. So, space-filling matter can provide the explanation for the gravitational time dilation effect. Gravitational time dilation is a experimentally verified phenomenon. According to general relativity, the bending of starlight and precession of the perihelion of Mercury's orbit, gravitational redshift, all these phenomena are currently explained through the general relativity framework. However, once we realize the existence of space-filling matter, this phenomenon can be reinterpreted through the new framework. So, this video, this live session discusses about how to verify, falsify this new the gravitational time dilation in this new framework.
falsifiable test of gravitational time dilation universality. General relativity, GR, predicts the universality of gravitational time dilation. Although absolute clock rates depend on gravitational potential, the frequency ratio of any two perfectly co-located clocks must remain invariant when transported together through different gravitational environments. This principle can be directly tested by comparing clocks based on fundamentally different physical mechanisms. Specifically, a nuclear clock and an optical atomic clock at different altitudes. The two clocks are first co-located at a lower altitude and their frequency ratio is measured with ultra-high precision. They are then relocated together to a higher altitude and remeasured under identical conditions. According to GR, the frequency ratios obtained at the two altitudes must agree within experimental uncertainty. Alternative frameworks predict a different outcome. If gravitational time dilation arises from interactions with a physical medium whose properties vary with gravitational potential, clocks governed by different internal dynamics may respond differently to altitude changes. In this case, the nuclear to optical frequency ratio would exhibit a systematic, altitude-dependent shift despite perfect collocation. Within this context, the exploding mass defect hypothesis proposes that mass defects from nuclear processes generate a space-filling physical medium whose density varies in gravitational fields and may couple differently to nuclear and electronic transitions. Thus, precision comparisons of nuclear and optical clocks across gravitational potentials provide a decisive test. Invariance of the frequency ratio supports GR, while a reproducible deviation with signal physics beyond it. Create an infographic based on the above, aspect ratio 1:1. Which image do you like more?
In fact, hello, Srinivas, based on my research, mass effect, a nuclear reaction, or other events in the universe are not directly converted into energy as Einstein suggests. In fact, mass defect in a nuclear reaction or other events in the universe are explosively transformed into a new form of matter. In fact, the release of energy associated with the mass effect is not caused by a change in the state of matter. Instead, the missing mass rapidly volumetrically expands and explodes. So, mass effect is a universally occurring phenomenon. Every active star, supernova, neutron conditions, all these events create a mass effect on large scale. That says that space, there's the possibility that space itself is filled with this type of matter. So this is, you can say, this is a modern ether, theory, modern ether. But ether is not a new concept, it is an ancient concept. Aristotle, Indian philosophers, ancient Indian philosophers, and across the world, ancient people believed the existence of a space-filling substance. So, in 1887, Michelson experiment disproved through the null result. They assumed, they came to the conclusion that since the null result of the Michelson experiment led people to disregard about the existence of ether. However, based on my studies, ether is we can say only a name. In fact, space-filling, I would like to say space-filling substances, space-filling medium, indeed exist, created by mass effects throughout the universe. There are experimental evidence which support this idea that in the published video, in the previous video, that microscopic analysis of spent nuclear fuel provide clear evidences for what happens to mass effect. Spent nuclear fuel has many peculiar effects of phenomena associated with the imprinted signature associated with the spent nuclear fuel. Currently, we don't have a proper satisfactory explanation for many of such phenomena like HBS formation and microstructural and morphological changes associated with the spent nuclear fuel. So when you closely observe, when you see through the lens of the exploding mass hypothesis, when you reinterpret the microstructural changes associated with the spent nuclear fuel, we can convincingly we can demonstrate that, or we can empirically prove that there is a mass, every micro explosion associated with every nuclear mass effect. So this says that this proves that mass effect creates powerful explosion. So when we apply this mass defect, exploding mass defect hypothesis in the universal scale, since mass is mass defect is a universal phenomenon, the entire universe must be filled with this form of matter. So once we realize that there is the existence of space-filling matter, we can rewrite many of our current understanding of the universe. Every phenomena currently we study and explore through special relativity, general relativity, the wave-like behavior of matter, all this can be reinterpreted through this new framework. In fact, gravitational time dilation. Currently, the time dilation with the speed, length contraction, increasing mass of a moving body. These are explained under the framework of Lorentz transformation effects. However, Einstein developed these theories based on based on belief that Einstein is whatever the missing mass is missing mass creates powerful explosion, and it in fact it explode, and in fact when we see chemical explosion, we know that explosion happens when a smaller matter in a smaller volume, when it expands at a very rapid speed, it creates an explosion. That is physics behind the chemical explosion. So when I say mass defect explode, that means the missing mass is not vanished or is not simply go anywhere. In fact, the missing mass explosively transform into a new form of matter, a new state of matter. So it's only a physical change, not a annihilation or mass defect is not vanishing according to suggested by special relativity. So mass defect in fact is physically changed. It undergoes physical change and it transforms into something as a new form of a kind of matter. So as a mass defect is a universal occurrent phenomenon. Empty space does not exist. In fact, space is filled with this type of substance. The Michelson-Morley, what happens to Michelson-Morley experiment, as a form of matter, this space-filling matter is gravitationally bound to a massive body. So when a body such as Earth moves through space, the Earth carries this dense region around it and it moves. So it creates a local region around the Earth or any massive body. When a massive body moves through space, it this surrounding region moves this. So it creates a local region. So when we do any experiment in this region, this local region, since it does not have a relative speed with the mass, central mass and the surrounding density region, it creates a local region. So because of that, when you do an experiment within this local region, we cannot find any kind of ether like phenomenon. So that explains why the Michelson-Morley experiment gave the null result. So in fact, the null result of Michelson-Morley experiment does not disprove the existence of the space-filling substance or ether. So this I am introducing a modern ether through the exploding mass defect hypothesis. So according to this study, space is indeed filled with a kind of substance or matter. So once we realize the existence of this space-filling matter, we can explain all phenomena associated. All phenomena currently we study and explore through the lens of special and general relativity, and also the wave-like behavior of matter. I published many books also. You can find my book link on my channel. If you are interested, you can purchase my book, and also I have uploaded numerous videos on this channel which discuss what happens to mass effect and how the new physics project, the fundamentals of new physics project. So this Earth, now I'll discuss about the falsifiable, the test, general relativity test. So according to this mass physics project, the gravitational time dilation is not because of the curved space-time as suggested by especially general relativity. In fact, the space-filling matter, space-filling medium creates a density gradient around the massive body. For example, Earth, near the Earth, the density will be greater and it decreases with the altitude. So because of the higher density near the Earth, when electrons in an atomic clock vibrates, this density gradient creates a frictional drag on this vibrating electron. So its vibratory frequency is affected by the density, high density region. So when you go up, since the density is less there in high altitude, this frictional frequency is less affected by the space filling medium. So this can influence the wavelength of the photon emitted by an atomic clock. Now this it is if you watch the infographic on the top of my head, this infographic says that when two kind of clock, we consider two kinds of clock. One is atomic, ordinary atomic clock, another nuclear clock. So the nuclear clock and the atomic clock are not influenced by this space-filling substance equally. In fact, the atomic clock is more influenced by the density, higher density region. So when you put atomic clock and nuclear clock at the same multiplier, and we take a measurement, and if you put the same this clock on a higher altitude, the changes accompanying with this clock or the photons, the ticking of this clock will be slightly different for atomic clock and nuclear clock. So if Einstein's according to Einstein, this should not happen. Both the clocks equally should be affected. But we can see that this atomic clock and nuclear clock will behave differently. So that challenges, that questions the validity of gravitational time dilation explanation of the explanation of gravitational time dilation by special general relativity. That is the infographic here I showed. So this can be experimentally validated I am preparing my research article which discuss all this thing. I am an independent researcher, so I take need more time to figure out. So that's I recently participated in a conference in Delhi. I presented my work there. So that is a thing. So also you can, if you are interested, you can purchase mugs and infographics from my channel. That is available. You can, if you are interested, you can purchase my mugs. For precise measurement, we use atomic clock. Atomic clock is one of the precise clock produced by scientific instrument. Therefore, we have got atomic clock. And recently, scientists developing the nuclear clock that is more precise. So, according to the current understanding, general relativity says that gravitational time dilation is because of the curved space-time, that is general relativity theory. However, according to new physics project, that is a misconception of actually universe work. In fact, okay. So we can find a better explanation for all these phenomena which we currently study and explore through the lens of special and general relativity, through the new framework. Through this new study, the space is filled with a substance. We can call modern either. In fact, the space-filling substance is real. In fact, Michelson-Morley is null experiment does not disprove. In fact, it proved that one way of finding this substance may not work. That is only Michelson-Morley experiment was proved. In fact, Michelson-Morley's experiment does not disprove the existence of the space-filling substance. It disproved the incapability of this test. It showed the incapability of the test which they conducted. In fact, space-filling substance is real and can be experimentally validated through different ways. In fact, space within substance is real. So, this, you can, I am an independent researcher. If you are interested, you can purchase my books, my infographics, my mug. I sell printed mugs. You can find in the store, product store. I believe that this time has come to, first I want to stress is that I am not an English speaker, so I am not very confident in speaking in English. My vocabulary is limited and my grammatical. And English is my first language, so we have difficulty in talking in English. So pardon me for that. According to this study, I think that the time has come to unify all branches of physics through this framework. In fact, space is indeed filled with a kind of substance or matter, which is created throughout the universe by mass effects. Every mass effect creates this space-filling matter. According to this framework, mass effect does not disappear. The idea that, or the concept that mass can be converted into energy, directly converted into energy, is a wrong concept. In fact, there is a mechanism, there is an intermediate mechanism how mass effect results in the generation of energy. When a mass effect happens, the missing mass creates powerful explosion, and this explosion is the driving force behind the kinetic energy of reaction products. That way we can explain how nuclear energy is released. In fact, nuclear energy is released not because of the conversion of mass into energy. Instead, it is because of a change in the physical change of the state of the missing mass. The missing mass undergoes a powerful explosion, micro explosion. Every nucleus, when a nucleus is split, the missing mass associated with the nuclear, the fission or fusion, whatever, the missing mass undergoes a powerful explosion, and this explosion propels the reaction products. So this can be experimentally validated through the micro analysis of spent nuclear fuel. There are many phenomena associated with many changes, microstructural changes, structural and morphological changes associated with the spent nuclear fuel. We don't have a satisfactory explanation for many changes associated with the spent nuclear fuel, like HBS formation. There are many kind of changes that happens to spending per fuel. Currently, we don't have a proper explanation for it. There remains as anomalies. However, when you see, when you look into that changes through this new framework, that is the exploding mass hypothesis, we can find a more satisfactory explanation for such a phenomenon. So I have written many books, and I have a lot of videos which are discussing about this, how this can explain. So if you are interested, you can purchase books, and also the product link I sell mugs which imprint my hypothesis, and it's arguments starting discussion starter test. So all the revenue generated by the sale is completely entirely used for my scientific equipments and for my research. One of my friend, Daniel Michael from USA, is supporting my research. I thank him for his support. Now I am in fact, I am an independent researcher. So my all the revenue generated by from this my book sale, my mug, if you can, it's interesting mugs, you can find that product link that all the revenue generated by from that sale is completely used for my research work. I am an independent researcher. I don't have any institutional support, so I'm preparing my research articles. I have a lot of many research papers I have to prepare for peer review. So it is as an independent researcher, it's difficult to meet the expenses, so that I am looking other options. So I need to. So anyway, I think that we are soon we are going to witness a major shift in theoretical physics and how the universe work. We are going to see a major revision of many of the current theories in physics, like special relativity, general relativity, quantum mechanics, the wave nature of matter. All these phenomena can be reinterpreted through this new framework, that space is indeed filled with a kind of matter or substance created by mass effects throughout the universe. So this will provide a new insight into how the universe actually works. In fact, I strongly believe that gravity is an attractive force, as Newton proposed. It is not a curvature in space-time. This curved space-time concept can be tested in Hello, sorry for the trouble. Now I realized that my it was not very audible because my mic was now only connected my mic. Sorry for that. Now I realized that my mic was not connected properly. Sorry for that. I think I hope you are I was audible to you. Sorry for that. So I think that we are approaching. We are uh, we are uh, going to witness a major revision in fundamental uh, concepts, fundamental theories. So, space indeed, without any doubt, space is filled with a substance. There are numerous evidence. In fact, all phenomena which we currently study and explore through the lens of special and general relativity can be reinterpreted through this new framework. For example, Lorentz transformation effects, gravitational effects such as gravitational bending, Charlotte bending, uh, all these phenomena can be reinterpreted through this new framework. Wave-like nature of matter is one of the interesting phenomena which de Broglie proposed the matter wave hypothesis, which says that matter has a wave-like behavior. However, this new framework, this exploding mass defect hypothesis, space is filled with a kind of a type of matter. So space is filled with a tiny particles of matter. So when a particle such as an electron travels through space, even if the evacuated tube, when a particle, a small particle such as an electron travels through the space, it will constantly interact with the particles of space filling matter. So an electron cannot travel in a straight electron or any other particle. In fact, we observed not electrons, atoms, molecules, and all particles has a wave length. So, what is the micro mechanism behind this nature? So, when you when you study through this new lens, the exploding mass defect hypothesis, space is filled with a form of matter. Space is filled with the tiny particles of matter. So when a beam of when one electron travels through space, it will constantly collide with or interact with the particles of space filling matter. So this prevents the electron travel in a straight line. So it will travel in a zigzag or wavy path. So at a fixed speed or a potential difference, all the electrons in a beam will be traveling in identical path. Every electrons in a beam at a fixed potential difference traveling in an identical path. So in fact, a beam of electron travels just like a wave, an ocean wave. So it's really not because of the inherent property, because of the instead, this is because of the constant interaction with the particles of space-filling substance. So when a beam, all the electrons in a beam will be traveling in an identical path. So when you pass this beam through a double slit, you can, of course, it can constructively and destructively interfere, and you can create a interference pattern. So this can explain the wave nature of matter. And also, interestingly, if space is filled with something, the space inside an art also must be filled with this same thing. So this can this this leads to reconsider about the atomic structure. So in fact, that's what I said earlier, that once we accept the existence of space-filling matter, it has the potential to rewrite everything what we know about the universe, from the wave nature of matter to time dilation, gravitational time dilation, gravitational redshift, blue shift, precession of the perihelion of Mercury's orbit, Shapiro effect, and also the formation of black hole. The black hole formation, how a black hole is formed, and and also it can explain the dark energy, dark energy, dark matter. All this we can find a better satisfactory logical explanation for all this only through this new framework. So it is a paradigm shift concept or development. I'm an independent researcher, so so I am selling my mugs, my infographics, books, all that. You can find in the product link. You can find in the I pinned my products in this channel. So every purchase you make, it will help my research. The entire revenue generated by my sale, product sale, is will be used to for my research. So if you are interested, you can purchase my products. I pinned my products in this channel, so you can, if you are interested, you can purchase that thing. So thank you very much for your interest and support. You can ask any questions if you have. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer your questions. So according to the study, gravitational time dilation and precession of the perihelion of Mercury's orbit, gravity well means gravitational redshift, blue shift, all these are not these effects or phenomena does not validate general relativity. I'll explain about the gravitational lensing effect, gravitational light bending of starlight bending, gravitational bending of light. As a form of matter, I said, as I stated before, mass effect creates space-filling substance or space-filling matter. This matter, as a form of matter, it is gravitationally bound to massive bodies. So every massive body has a dense region around it. So when a beam of light passes through this density gradient, this light will get refracted and bent. So now the thing is that this medium was a high Abbe number, so it can refract light in a non-chromatic way. The density gradient around sun or any massive body refract light in a non-chromatic way because of the high Abbe number of this medium. So even though it not wavelength independent, it can bend wavelength independently. It does not prove Einstein's space-time curvature. Many people believe that because of the non-chromatic bending of light, it considers as this is a experimental evidence for general relativity. However, with the space-filling substance created by mass effect has a special property. It has a high Abbe number, so it bends light close to it bends almost all wavelength light with a slight variation. So it almost perfectly refract without chromatic differences, chromatic aberration. So this effect does not validate general relativity. So that is very interesting thing. So general gravitational time dilation or gravitational bending of light does not validate general relativity. And also the precession of the perihelion Mercury's orbit and the orbital behavior of S2 star around the black hole, supramassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. This also can be explained through this new framework. So these phenomena, gravitational time dilation, gravitational lensing, and the orbital anomalies of Mercury or S2 star do not validate general relativity or curved space-time concept. So I have uploaded many videos which discuss my theories on this channel. If you are interested, you can go back to you can watch those videos. And also I published many books which discuss this new development, and you can purchase my books if you are interested. And also I sell infographics, printed mugs, all that on my channel. So the revenue generated from the sales is completely used for my research effort. Thank you for your interest.